Hello, Doing here, and welcome to another top 5 video where in this one I'll be talking about my top 5 weird anime. And when I say weird, I'm talking about the anime where you need time to process what the hell you watched, whether it's because of the story or the characters. Now, I had a sixth option to put on here, so I'm just going to give it an honorary mention, or I guess a dishonorary mention in my case. And in that case, this dishonorary mention is Pupa. And no, I'm not going to give you a summary for this one, since it's only a mention. And I despise this anime because it set off so many of my own personal audio triggers, aka like chewing loudly within the 5th episode. They're only 4 minutes long, by the way. And I just ended up dropping it after the 5th episode. On to the actual top 5. Number 5, Chaos Head. The summary: Takumi is a reclusive otaku who wants nothing more than to be left alone to play online games and watch anime. He only attends to the minimum necessary to pass his classes, and rarely leaves his cramped room except to purchase the newest figurines. One evening, while Takumi is chatting online with his friend Grim, a stranger called Shogun joins the channel, and after Grim leaves, posts a series of disturbing photographs depicting a man impaled to a wall with metal stakes. The following day, Takumi is horrified when he wanders into an alley. Once again sees Shogun's images, but this time the gruesome scene is reality. From then on, Takumi sees the world through a new set of eyes. Imaginary delusions meld with reality, and he's unsure who he can trust. With suspicions and confusion at every turn, Takumi must struggle to determine what's going on, but most importantly, whose eyes are those eyes. The reason I chose this one versus Chaos Child, which I actually enjoyed more than this one, is mainly because Chaos Child kind of explained things more, while in Chaos Head it was like so goddamn ambiguous most of the time. It was all about like questioning reality. Number 4, Fooly Cooly, or FLCL, however you want to say it. Now for the summary. Now to Nanbada. I actually don't remember his last name. Maybe I should rewatch it sometime. Naoto Nabata is a boring young boy who leads a boring life in a boring town. His older brother has left for America, and the closest he comes to any excitement is when his deadbeat dad has too much sake. But things change one day when a bizarre girl zooms up to him on a scooter and smacks him in the face with her guitar. What's more, once Naoto returns home, he discovers that this strange woman has arrived ahead of him and moved in. Not only does she constantly engage in perverted activities with Naoto's father and flirt with the young man himself, but she also claims to be an alien who is searching for the Pirate King. Now Naoto must learn to live with this new intruder, deal with an odd government agent who sports exponentially large eyebrows and a mysterious medical mechanica, and comes to terms with the fact that there are a variety of robots and weapons emerging out of his head, amongst other things. Perhaps boring wasn't so bad after all. Now, as much as I love the sequels to Fooly Cooly that were they last year or the year before? I don't remember. The first season here was so strange and obvious in the way it did its like symbolism for puberty. In case you didn't know, this anime had a lot of symbolism for a boy going through puberty, aka our main character here. That's all I'm going to say about it, because because pretty much most anime fans have seen Fooly Cooly at least once, and if you haven't, I get on that. It's honestly not that long. It's literally like 6 episodes. Okay, number 3, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Now, not quick summary, but a summary. In the future, a devastating event known as Second Impact had destroyed Tokyo as we know it, giving rise to Tokyo 3, a city under siege by mysterious lifeforms known as angels. Mankind's only line of defense are the Evangelions, a set man-made machines piloted by a trio of 14-year-old teenagers, Rei, Shinji, and Asuka. The fate of Japan and the entire world now lie with these three children, though they might not have the power to save the most important thing of all, each other. Okay, the big reason I'm putting Eva here is because of the Shinji mindfuck scene in the original anime, before the movie kind of changed it. And I'm talking about the rebuild movie. I'm talking about the end of Evangelion, I think is what it's called. That shit was fucking insane, even for someone who was a late adopter for the anime. Yeah, and yes, I am kind of was late to the Evangelion party, so to say. Number 2, Serial Experiments Lane. And summary: I have only abandoned my body. I still live here, are the words emailed to friends of Chisa several days after her death by ending herself. As Lane delves deeper into the world of the wired, also known as the internet, the line between it and reality becomes more and more unclear. Close the world, open the next. More people, honestly, I feel like need to watch this one. Because when I watched it, I had no idea what the story was until the very end. It just fucks with your perception of what is real in the anime and what is not. Everything about it was creepy and unnerving. From the main menu to the intro to the art style itself. So much of it was just so unnerving. And the message of the anime about being on the wired, aka the internet, still holds true to this very day. Number 1. Number 1. Maggie, Madoka Magica. Basically, Madoka Magica is my number 1. Now for a summary. One night, Madoka has a terrible nightmare against the backdrop of a desolate landscape. She watches a magical girl battle a terrifying creature and lose. The next day, the teen's dream becomes reality when the girl Homura arrives at Mitakihara Middle School as a transfer student, mysteriously warning Madoka to stay just the way she is. But when she and her best friend Miki are pulled into a twisted illusion world and meet a magical creature named Kyubey, the pair discover that the magical girls are real, and what's more, that they can choose to become one. All they must do is sign a contract with Kyubey and agree to fight witches that spread despair to the human world. In return, they will be granted a single wish. However, as Homer's omen suggests, there's far more to becoming a magical girl than Madoka and Miki realize. Okay, the reason I chose this one over Serial Experiments Lane is more because it can catch you off guard. Not because it's a magical girl anime, but because you know something is wrong, because not just of the anime itself, but of course of everyone always talking about it, yet you end up getting attached to the characters anyway, and end up letting your guard down at some point. And then it swings the bullshit hammer at you hard, especially at the end of the third movie, which takes place after the original anime series. Sort of. And that was my top 5 weird-ass anime. If you want to add some of your own weird anime to the list, then leave them in the comments. Subscribe and hit that bell to join my positive anime guild, and I hope to see you next time. See ya.